you were talking about how that strengthened your knowledge of the market. And I've got to say, that is absolutely borne out. This astounded me when I read it. That you spent 5 years researching literary agents, but then you wrote 2 and they both made offers. Do I have that tale correct?
Yes. When I started, I was writing, but I really wasn't in a position to go after an agent. I was working on a book. I didn't feel the book was commercial. It felt very, very personal. And it was not a good time with everything going on with my family. So I took 5 years where I would go to conferences. I would listen to the literary agents, and I would pretty much size them up. A literary agent is someone you're going into business with. And it's really good to look at them and go, okay, would I want to work with you? If we were in a company together, would I want to work with you? Are you someone who I feel I could trust? Are you someone who is articulate? Are you someone who I think could represent my novel well? At the same time, I was watching who was doing deals. I was watching PW and looking at who was doing deals and who was doing interesting deals. Who was doing deals for books that were similar to what I like to write. And I talk about this sometimes with my SCBWI friends, where I'll say, you want to find an agent who loves to sell what you love to write. Because agents are human beings and they all have their favorites. If you have an agent who doesn't like horror and you're writing horror, they probably aren't going to know the editors who love to buy horror. You have to think of agents as people who have a limited number of connections. They may have a lot of connections, but you want them to have the right connections for your book. So I think I did a pretty good job of sizing up the agents who would respond to A Girl Called Fearless, and I was right.
Obviously, without esteemed audience knows that I think all literary agents are wonderful, and they are all welcome to come on the show. I can't wait to talk with you. But beyond what we can read on the page, they're selling a lot, and this is a debate I don't have a good answer to. If somebody sells a lot of books, but they're just an absolute horror of a person that's unpleasant to talk to, and I've met a few, not on this show, God knows, never on the show or the blog, but out and about, people I don't invite to come chat with me, and I meet them like, oh my God, I couldn't stand more than a couple of moments for you. On the other hand, I'm seeing a lot of sales. That looks pretty good. So if you're meeting somebody in person beyond just what the numbers are for what they've done, without revealing any names, without any specifics, how would you go about determining in person things to rule out and who's going to be a good agent to follow up with?
Well, the Kidlit community is pretty cozy, and it's not unusual for one to have friends who are represented by agents. And so if you have a question about an agent, you may know someone who will give you a very candid answer about what they like or don't like about their agent. So use your connections. If you don't have an opportunity to see them speak or to meet them in person, use your connection. And before you sign anything, I would say have a back and forth about questions you might have about how they might handle things. The way that someone responds to you in an email exchange can tell you a lot about that person. So I would say use all of the resources available to you for finding out what they're really like.
Well, now I'm on pins and needles because we have had email exchanges. I hope they went well.
They did go well.
What specific kinds of things are you looking for in an email exchange that might tip somebody off?
If you ask a question and you don't get an answer which really answers your question, that would tip you off. If someone is vague, or if they're brusque, or if you come away not feeling comfortable, listen to your gut. Don't be so eager that you leap into a relationship. And it's hard because, for many of us, that is one of those moments where it's like your dream has come true, right? It's taken forever. You have so much invested in this. You want to be published so deeply, but it's a good time to just step back and listen to your intuitive self. Don't just run into that.
Yes, but my intuitive self is garbage, which is why I love asking these specific questions that'll be able to help out later. I've listened to my gut before. It's been wrong. I've learned to listen, but also find some hard factual information to help me out as well.
Facts are good.